Welcome back to Winging It Buffalo Style. In our health segment today, we're learning how sleep patterns can have serious effects on our overall well-being. And we're joined by Dr. Daniel Rifkin from Sleep Medicine Centers of Western New York. Also, our friend mental health counselor Lynn Rifkinshine here to discuss the mental and physical factors involved with sleep apnea. Lynn, our viewers, of course, know you, but your brother is a sleep doctor. And this is something that we've wanted to talk to our viewers about for a long time, how both of your fields kind of fit together.
Yes, they do.
So, Dan, let's start off with you. We're talking about sleep apnea. That's your area of expertise. What are some of the signs and symptoms of someone that has sleep apnea?
Well, sleep apnea, it's a very common disorder. It can affect up to 10% of the population, believe it or not, and it's highly under-recognized, meaning that a lot of people, either they don't know they have it or their doctor hasn't recognized it yet. But the most common symptom really is just feeling tired during the day. It's really something that makes you feel like you haven't had a good night's sleep, and you don't really know why, because what happens with sleep apnea, you'll start off snoring where your throat will collapse down, and then all of a sudden it'll collapse completely so that you can't take a breath of air, and your brain constantly wakes up through the night. It's associated with snoring, a lot of daytime sleepiness. As you can see on the monitor there, you can wake up feeling warm or sweaty. You actually go to the bathroom more often than you think you should. Sometimes you'll wake up with a headache in the morning or a lot of drool on your pillow or dry mouth. Or you can even get heartburn during the night. Those are common symptoms.
And I think so many Americans, so many Western New Yorkers are so busy all the time, they think that feeling sleepy is just normal. What would you say to that?
Well, it is a bit of an epidemic just from a sleep deprivation standpoint. We kind of deprive ourselves of a full night of sleep. The average adult, believe it or not, requires about 8 hours of sleep. When you go around and you ask how many people get 8 hours of sleep,
Very few.
Very few. Very few.
And this must be something, Lynn, that you see in your practice all the time as well, the psychological things that are associated with this disorder.
Well, I see very often, and I see people that need to be perhaps referred to their doctor about sleep problems, because they'll come to me and say that they're depressed or they're anxious. Because think about it, when you don't sleep, you are very agitated and anxious, and it's depressing to not feel like you have the energy to do what everyone else does. So when they'll say, I slept all night, I don't have a problem sleeping, but then once I put the kids on the bus, I'm going back to sleep. So that's a common one. And so I'll say, take a look at some of those other symptoms and see, ask them if they snore, ask any of those things. And often we'll see that people have sleep disorders.
And if you are very stressed or you are depressed, it probably is hard for those people to fall asleep. What would you suggest to anyone out there that's struggling with this?
In terms of insomnia, which is, different than apnea, but insomnia and difficulty falling asleep, it's about relaxation, because your head is ruminating. You're going over and over things from the day. So there's lots of things that I ask people to do, like writing things down and saying, if you write it down and it's on the journal, you have to put it away for the night. Or doing Zen kind of breathing, things you learn in yoga kind of breathing, so that you're talking to yourself, perhaps counting 1 to 10 while doing deep breaths, and keep doing it over and over again until you fall asleep, so that you distract your mind from thinking. So those are some of the things that we do.
And Dan, when would you suggest to get a physician involved?
Well, when you're not feeling well during the day, or if you have a bed partner that's snoring really loudly, or they'll witness apneas during the night, meaning that they'll watch their bed partner not take a breath for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Sometimes they can last as long as a minute or two, and it's very scary to see.
And how long does it typically take to cure sleep apnea or get to a state where you can sleep throughout the night?
Well, it's very easily treated. That's the neat thing. It can be treated in children and adults a little bit differently, but just you need to talk to your doctor. That's the key thing. If you're feeling that way, or if you have a bed partner that's doing this, just tell the doctor and they'll put you in the right direction.
All right, thank you so much.
I was going to add one more thing, because it's the big thing that pulls people in and helps them to realize they need help, is the obesity piece. Is that you can gain weight by not sleeping. So getting help also helps people lose weight, which is something that's significant for people.
All right, well, we hope everyone gets a good night's sleep. It is Better Sleep Week this week, so if you're going to do it, start it now, right?
Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thank
to
you,
the
Lauren.
Rifkin siblings for being on the couch this morning.